Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking time to attend this call. I'm Sid Rajiv, Head of Research at Fundamental Research, and our guest today is Wong, founder and CEO of HelloPal. HelloPal is a social media app with over 5 million registered users, currently generating over $2 million in monthly revenue. From our view, one of the nicest and unique aspects of the app is that it combines popular features of Instagram and matchmaking apps. Matchmaking apps and live streaming are two rapidly growing segments within social media. We launched coverage on HelloPal last month, February 16th to be exact, as a top pick, and its shares have since doubled. To see our entire list of top picks, I encourage you to check out our platform researchfrc.com, and if you become a member, you'll have real-time access to our top picks list and all of our reports. So the agenda for today is I will kick off the call with our thoughts on growing social media industry and some of the key upcoming trends within the space. Kale will take over from there and introduce us to HelloPal, highlight some upcoming catalysts and things we can watch out for. For listeners, you can either wait till the end to ask questions, or if you have questions during the presentation, feel free to type them in and we'll try to respond to them. We encourage questions to be directed to HelloPal since we have Kale on the call today. Here are some key disclaimers. Please take a moment. Okay, so let's get started. 45% of global population are using social media apps, and 60% of social media users are in Asia, making Asia the #1 market for social media apps. Another key aspect of Asia is that it has the lowest user acquisition cost. Another low-cost area is Latin America. HelloPal is currently focused on Asia with plans to expand to Latin America. 4 of the top 5 downloaded apps in 2020 were social media apps. This chart clearly demonstrates the demand for social media apps from consumers. 2 areas we're seeing a strong increase in popularity are matchmaking/dating and live streaming. These are also HelloPal's key attributes. As shown here, matchmaking, online dating, and casual dating apps are all expected to see a strong growth in user base across the globe. Another positive aspect of matchmaking apps is that they tend to have a high percentage of paid user base. As shown here, about 30 to 45% are paid users on most of the popular apps. This compares to just 5 to 10% of apps in other sectors. The second growing area I mentioned earlier is live streaming. As shown here, 24% of internet users increased live streaming activity during the pandemic. Another example, Instagram experienced a 70% increase in live streaming activity from February to March in 2020. This chart here shows the significant increase in live streaming hours during the pandemic. Another example, in March 2020, first-time installations of Netflix increased over 50% in Italy and 30% in Spain, 2 of the hardest hit countries by the pandemic early on. And before I welcome Kale, I would like to mention a recent acquisition in the space that is directly comparable to HelloPal. Match Group, the owner of the largest online dating platforms such as Tinder, Match.com, and Plenty of Fish, recently acquired South Korean social media company Hyperconnect for $1.7 billion, reflecting an EV to revenue of 9 times. This compares to HelloPal's forward ratio of 3.7 times. Hyperconnect has 2 apps in the live streaming space. We believe this transaction shows that larger players are looking to expand their video chat and live streaming offerings. Another major development in the industry was the recent $2.2 billion IPO of the online dating app Bumble. Bumble is currently trading at 13 times revenue. Again, HelloPal is at 3.7 times. With that, I would like to welcome Kale Wong, CEO of HelloPal. Kale, you'll be able to share your screen. Please go ahead when you're ready.
So hi everyone, I'm Kale Wong, founder and CEO of HelloPal. So just a very quick background about myself. I was born in Malaysia, studied law in the UK, lived in Hong Kong for many years before moving to Hangzhou, China, which is the land of Alibaba, about 9 years ago. I was previously in the field of law, tech, finance, and also in education before founding HelloPal. So what is HelloPal? HelloPal is an international social platform where people can meet and interact with other people from all over the world. So our corporate mission is to bring the world closer together, to have a world without borders, without cultural barriers, and without language barriers. So when I first founded HelloPal in 2014, it had more of a language learning focus. But very soon after launch, I realized that there were basically 3 groups of people using our app. One group was social users, people who weren't necessarily interested in learning languages, but were just there to meet people from other countries. The language learners themselves wanting to practice language, and travel users wanting to meet users in the country where they're about to travel to before they travel. So we pretty quickly decided that just one app, HelloPal, would not be sufficient to cater to everyone's interests and needs well enough. So we had a 3-app strategy, one dedicated to each sector. So, but our main app is still HelloPal, and the core features have always been chat and translation, for example, where we allow users to very quickly and easily filter and match themselves with different people according to their own criteria. And as well as built-in language tools like language phrase books, as well as translation tools. And we also have a popular moments feature, which allow people to share moments in the form of videos, audio, and text. And in 2019, we brought on a very successful live streaming team from China who were part of the live stream revolution that took place a couple of years before that. And with this team on board, we introduced live streaming functionality into HelloPal, and live streaming has since then become our main revenue generator. So our revenues have increased nicely. So for last year, we had an increase of over 900% in monthly revenues from December compared to January. And for the past 3 months, and very soon for the past 4 months, we would have exceeded 2 million in monthly revenues. So the way it works in terms of how we earn revenue is that as users watch live streamers, many of them would want to buy virtual gifts for them. And in order to buy those gifts, they top up with cash, and they receive gold coins, which is in-app currency in return. And with the coins, they buy the gifts. And as the live streamers receive the gifts, they receive what's called charm on our platform. And with that charm, the users basically, the live streamers redeem the charm for cash. So we basically get paid by users from the top-ups, and that's the main revenue generation for us. So, as I was saying earlier, the team was based in China and very China-focused in the beginning. But as an international platform, obviously, we have an international audience. So we've been expanding our live streaming operations beyond China, and the trend has been doing well. So over the past few months, in almost all metrics now, non-China live streaming has exceeded China, some by as much as 3 or 4 times. For example, the live streaming time by hosts, the number of daily overseas hosts, the daily gift givers overseas is now triple that of China, etc. So we also have additional revenue streams, such as a VIP membership system where we receive monthly subscription revenue for this subscription. VIP memberships basically allow users to have a better experience, have better, more enhanced functionality, for example, enhanced search features. And we also have features which is matched to VIP, such as one-on-one video matching service. And so a popular app is Azar, which Sid mentioned earlier, owned by HyperConnect, which was acquired by Match.com. So we have, it's still early days for that, but our strategy has been to plant seeds, throughout over time. So the live streaming seed, for example, was planted in 2019, which only bore fruit in 2020. So hopefully, we expect this one-on-one video matching service and the VIP membership system to bear fruit later on this year. So lastly, I want to talk about what we're doing in the blockchain space, because this is probably one of the most important areas for us and plays a very strategic role going forward. So in 2018, we first announced a partnership with Shanghai Yitang, which is like a sister company. We have a common shareholder, so it's a very friendly party. They helped us provide digital crypto wallet in HelloPal. And recently, we made two announcements regarding blockchain crypto mining. So first, we announced that we are going to allow, and again, this is through partnership with Yitang, we're going to allow users to purchase machines, mining machines, miners to mine Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other current cryptocurrencies. So, and I'll talk a bit more about why we're doing that. And then most recently, we announced a deal where we would be purchasing 12,500 Litecoin mining rigs. And that would make us basically the third largest in the world in terms of hash rate power for Litecoin. And if you don't know, Litecoin is very tied with Dogecoin, as when we mine Litecoin, we get credited with Dogecoin. So Dogecoin is something that we are, you could say, betting big on. We see a very big role in Dogecoin, perhaps even one day surpassing Bitcoin. Currently, a lot of it is thanks to Elon Musk and his interests in Dogecoin and his tweets specifically. And this recent deal would be completely transformative to HelloPal, at least from a financial point of view, where the value of crypto that we would be mining in a year would probably be in excess of 40 million USD over the year. So, but why are we doing this? On the surface, crypto mining doesn't seem to have a lot to do with what we're doing as a social platform. But the reason is this: we see a globalization trend where increasingly there is a rising demand of an international nature. So for international social platforms like ours, there's an increasing opportunity to address such demand, especially from users. But the biggest problem is really the lack of motivation amongst users to help each other. And it's especially the case with platforms like ours, because remembering that we are not like a social platform like Facebook, where people are on there with their friends who they know already, who they are more likely to help without any questions. But for us, it's pretty much, everyone there's a stranger, at least on day one. So in order for users to help each other for free, it's a much tougher ask. So here's where cryptocurrency can play a key role, in our opinion. So it will allow users to reward and gift each other. And it'll also allow us as a platform to better motivate users to participate in certain activities. So with cryptocurrency, we imagine a much easier value transfer between users. So there's, crypto is something that's borderless. So no more borders will prevent users. And especially micropayments is something that could be very, very important, where micropayments are basically impractical right now because of transfer fees. But that would not be the case, or hardly be the case with us, especially cryptocurrency transfers within our platform. And where less developed countries, some of them don't even have bank accounts. This won't also be a problem. So, and we will continue to expand our use cases for cryptocurrency beyond social, travel, and language learning into a lot of other areas over time. And I will stop here and pause for questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kale. We can now open the call to a Q&A. Listeners, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in, or you can click on the raise hand option and can unmute you. Now, I want to mention that we did a trial run on HelloPal's app and found it to be very user-friendly. And not just that, we see a very active platform. So I encourage all the attendees here to check out the app, see for yourself, and get comfortable with what we're talking about in terms of activity and how user-friendly the app is. So we have received a bunch of questions. So Kale, if you don't mind, I'll just get started here.
Sure.
Could you please talk about user growth?
Yeah. So we are increasing. We have about a growth rate of about over 2,000 new users a day, and increasingly it's from overseas. So we see our expansion, our growth, to be primarily going to be coming from non-China, what we call overseas markets, and especially in the live streaming space, because China is, I believe, was at the forefront in the world in terms of, and technology-wise also, is very, very advanced in many aspects. So China started live streaming and live streaming related business models much earlier, and is quite saturated right now. And actually, as a side note, it's quite a testament to the ability of our team to be able to still get a nice slice of the pie, even though a lot of other people who came on at the same time as us, focusing on the China market, died by the wayside. So the growth is really in the overseas markets. For example, in the Middle East, is quite new there, and we see a lot of growth opportunities there, and we are experiencing that already, as our stats show. So over Middle East, we see a lot of growth opportunity also in the Latin American countries, as well as Southeast Asia. And India, Pakistan is also a big possibility for us, because we can see this because we obviously will not be the first ones to enter those markets. We see people there already there and performing really well. And the great thing is again, as I was saying, is at the earlier stage of growth. So we expect growth to come from those countries. And lastly, from the developed countries. And I think the reason for that is we tend to see the developing countries being more interested in social platforms like ours. Perhaps it's more of a demand to meet people from developed countries.
Thank you. Now, I mentioned that we found the interface to be very user-friendly, but we do have a question from one of the attendees. Are there any plans to improve the user interface? There are a lot of online reports from users of some issues.
Yes, absolutely. It's still a work in progress. I think the one thing that we want to do, apart from resolving bugs, and that will be a functionality of growing our team, which we are currently doing. On a side note, we've kept our team relatively lean up to now, but with the recent fundraisers. We'll be expanding our team, and hopefully a lot of the bugs will be sorted out. But another big area of focus for us is really to customize the user interface for each market, because as an international app, that's a huge challenge, because different people in different countries have different habits, and what appeals to one country may not necessarily appeal to other countries. So that's also on our to-do list.
Okay. How has the reception been from the Middle East, where you recently expanded?
Oh, very, very well. The great thing is we have a lot of good partners in the Middle East who've been able to get us off the ground pretty quickly. The Middle East, there's still a lot to be done in the Middle East, but we're already seeing a lot of very encouraging results already. As I was showing in the stats earlier, we've had rapid growth in the non-China markets, and a lot of that came from the Middle East. And actually, even the biggest feature may not even be live streaming per se in the Middle East. It's a feature that we're about to launch. Actually, it's actually voice rooms. That's huge in the Middle East, and we'll be launching that feature soon. And a big reason for which is to cater for the Middle East market.
Okay, what's the next one is more about expansion. What is your user acquisition strategy? Maybe I can expand on that. When you enter a new market, how do you plan to ramp up or gain traction quickly?
Yeah, so for example, in live streaming, let me take the example of how we did it in China. In China, many people are surprised to know that we didn't spend much at all on user marketing. And the way we got users is basically through live streaming agencies. So in this sphere, there are a lot of these agencies which have a lot of live streaming hosts associated under them. So by partnering with these agencies, they bring on the hosts, and who a lot of them have their existing fan base who follow them. So a lot of users have come from that way, and the same with the Middle East. And it's a question of having a good enough network and offering financial incentives to encourage these agencies to join us. So we have agencies writing to us, almost once every few days at least, talking about joining us. But with overseas markets, we'll also be starting to put in money in the traditional ways of user acquisition through ads, etc. But I think the most cost-effective and maybe the best way is actually through the method I was saying earlier, through agencies.
Yes, I think one of the biggest or most critical aspects of the social media space for us is marketing dollars. To get users, you need to spend, it's very capital intensive initially. But one of the nicest things that HelloPal is doing is by partnering with agencies, they can have initial low initial marketing cost and instead do a revenue share with these agencies. Now, maybe it's a good time for you, the listeners, to know about your revenue share and see how what really are the incentives of agencies and these celebrities, so-called celebrities, to join your app.
Yeah, so again, going back to how we managed to do it in China, as I was saying, China especially was very saturated, but we were still able to carve out a slice of the pie, because we were able to take on give back much more to them and have a less of a margin for ourselves, because as I was saying, our team has been quite lean. We've been able to our team has been I believe punching well above its weight. So our costs have been low. which allows us to keep our margins much lower and be able to give much more back to the live streamers. So live streamers, for example, on other platforms, they could be getting 50% or less, but with us, they'll be getting from between 70 to maybe even 80 plus, depending on agencies and on the hosts and on circumstances.
Okay. Do you plan to disclose user base going forward?
What do you mean? The user numbers? We already do that.
So user numbers. So what they want to know is what's the user growth now? What's currently how many users you have on your platform, and how?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are about I think 5.5 million registered users. Growing at about 2,000 plus a day. Okay. I haven't checked the most recent figures, but it could be higher right now.
Okay. What is the use of funds from a recent financing?
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff planned. First of all, before we even talk about the crypto space, we'll be launching a lot of new features. So one of the things that I personally am very excited about is the relaunch of Language Pal, where we believe we are able to create, we'll be able to offer a language learning product which is very unique. So going back to my own personal background, I'm very interested in education. I've always been. That was my first business also. And I've also always been interested in languages. So from my own personal experience in teaching kids and just learning languages, I believe, when we launch our product, people will see it to be a very unique way and hopefully an effective way, a very effective way of learning languages. So a lot of development is going towards that. Eventually, when COVID subsides, we'll also relaunch Travel Pal. So these apps will be, when we first launched them, we were constrained as to the team and as to the budget that we had. But now with much more funding, we can actually relaunch the apps in a way that in a much better way, much closer to what we originally intended. So other features that I was telling you about, like the audio rooms for the Middle East, and some which we haven't disclosed and which we'll be disclosing soon. But a large part of our funding would be going into the crypto space. So, for example, we announced the purchase of the mining rigs, Litecoin, Dogecoin, mining machines. So that would already take up several million. And when we purchased the remaining 49% of it, we would actually need a further financing for that. But it'll be very clear, it'll be more than worth it, because the price that we're paying for it is only a fraction of what will be rewarded by the market, just looking at comparables.
Okay, just one final question. When do you expect revenue from the mining business to kick in?
Oh, as soon as we launch, which is basically, we hope to do that in the coming couple of months at the latest. We're just ironing out some final details now. The thing is, I'm not sure, maybe I didn't mention earlier, but we're doing this, even though it's going to be a profitable business, is the real reason we're doing this is really to encourage users, to educate our users to be familiar with cryptocurrency, and also to bring crypto users who are not on our platform onto our platform. It's part of a much larger strategy of just baking in cryptocurrency into our platform. So the profits or revenues that we earn from selling the rigs to people and hosting them would be a nice pudding, nice cream on top.
Okay. Kale, just one more question just came in. Do you plan to partner with language learning companies such as Babel to help drive global awareness?
I wouldn't rule that out, but initially, we would probably do beta testing with our current users to iron out the kinks and just see how it plays out with our users first. I think the first priority is to really get the product in as best a shape as possible. And you know, I think we will probably be more likely to partner with live streaming companies. Although live streaming would eventually be something we do as well ourselves, language-based live streaming. But definitely open to partnering. But I mean, they may see us as competitive. I don't know, hard to say.
Okay. So before we wrap up, KL, do you mind telling us how we can download your app? What's the best way to do this?
Yeah, well, easiest way is either through Google Play or the Apple App Store, or just visit our website at hellopal.com.
So again, I encourage all the attendees to just give it a shot, see for yourself what the business is all about. I don't see any more questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time today. Special thanks to KL because I know he's in China. It's past midnight there. Really appreciate you coming on and giving us some insights on what you've been up to. A recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel shortly. If you wish to see our reports on HelloPal and other companies, please check out our platform, researchfrc.com. Thanks again and wish you all the best and stay safe.
Thanks so much.